why your relationships can be a good thing. I'm not gonna sit here and act like relationships are not a bad thing and a bad experience, but we need to look at it and be grateful that we had the opportunity to experience a heartbreak. Why do I say that? Well, first, let's think about it like this. What are some of the things that you learned off of your heartbreak? What are some things that you would not have learned if you didn't go through that heartbreak? Maybe you start to look at people different now. Maybe you start to look at things different now because you went through that heartbreak. Maybe you learn some things that you never thought you would learn about yourself and about what you like. So maybe heartbreaks are a good thing. Yes, it hurts. The heartbreaks, they do hurt. But we need to start looking at it as an experience, and let's be glad that it happened. Because some people can't even experience a heartbreak. Some people will probably never experience a heartbreak. Or actually, when it comes to relationships, a heartbreak. Not like family members. I mean like relationship-wise. So, if you're going through a heartbreak, I want you to try to understand and look at what you learned out of that relationship. Look at what you experienced out of that relationship. Look at what things have changed you now that you went through that heartbreak and now that you've changed. Because if we sit and think about the negative things that happened because of that heartbreak, it'll be, you'll start to fall into this pit of sadness that you don't want to be in. So let's try to look at the things that we learn. Let's try to look at the things that we can grow from and change to help ourselves better ourselves for the next relationship. Then so we can be good for the next relationship, and then we don't do the same mistakes that we did in the past relationship. So understand, when you're going through a heartbreak, try to look at some things that you learned about yourself. Don't try to make it seem like such a bad thing. Yes, it will hurt. Pain, yes, it's difficult to deal with. But if we start looking at relationships and heartbreaks as a good thing, you'll start to feel really better about yourself moving forward, instead of downing yourself and not even trying to get another relationship because of that situation that happened with you. So let's try to look at relationships on the positive end and heartbreaks on the positive end, so we can be better for the next person. So you can be better for yourself, maybe not for the next person, but you could be better for yourself. Maybe relationships aren't for you. Maybe because of that heartbreak, you realize that relationships are just not for you. So you can learn things out of this heartbreak that you're going through. You can learn so many things about yourself that you did not know. And that, my friend, is the good part of a heartbreak. You can learn so many things that you haven't learned about yourself. No, I'm not saying go date somebody and get a heartbreak on purpose. No, let things happen naturally. Let things come to you. Let things happen naturally. Maybe you'll never be in a relationship. Maybe you will be in a relationship. Just let things happen naturally. Do not force things. If the heartbreak happens, it happens. But when it happens, I want you to look at it and look at the things that you have learned from the heartbreak. Look at the things that you can gain from the heartbreak. Look at the things that you can overcome for your next partner or yourself, to help better yourself, to help better yourself mentally, to help better your words, to help better your sentences, to help better your life, to help better your skills, to help better your muscles, to help better your mind. You know what I'm saying? So you could look at a heartbreak as positive, or you can look at it as a big negative. But what I'm trying to do is look at heartbreaks as a growth experience, as a learning experience. So I can pinpoint some things that I need to work on myself, or for my next partner. That's how I'm starting to look at relationships and heartbreaks. Well, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I've always been doing that, because no, I've not always been doing that. So I used to be, you know, so mad about my heartbreaks, so sad about my heartbreaks. Ah, man, I'm not worth nothing. I'm not worth anything. I used to think I'm not worth anything because of the way and the situations, you know, that happened back then. But so I never looked at it as like a learning experience and what I could do for myself to help better myself mentally. I never really looked at it like that. But eventually I was like, so I can either A, sit in my bed, cry all day, weep, and not get anything done, or I can look at this as a learning experience, grow from it, and proceed with my life, and proceed to do my goals, and proceed to conquer. At first, I was choosing A. That's what I was doing every day, until I realized that I wasn't getting anything done for myself, for my family, just nothing. I wasn't getting anything done. I was less motivated, and you know, I never really put towards my goals when I was going through that situation. I never really put towards anything because I was just so done. I was just so done, so I couldn't, I didn't even want to go. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to do anything that I like doing. I didn't want to do a lot of things that I wanted to do. But I ended up realizing, you know, things are not going to get done if things don't get done. So I had to end up getting up and trying to learn and understand what I could know from this experience that I went through, this heartbreak that I went through. I had to get up and realize, you know, maybe I have some things I need to work on. Maybe there's some things I need to work on for myself to help better myself. And eventually I started to realize that, and I started to gain more confidence with myself so I can learn more about myself. Because I stayed in the bed all day wondering why, but I was never trying to figure out why. So when you go through this heartbreak, when you go through this pain, when you go through this time in your life and this experience, just try to look at it as a learning experience and a growth experience, so you can protect your mental state. Because if you let it get to a point where you're just wondering why is this happening to me, you're going, it's going to be bad, my friend. It's going to be so bad, and you're gonna wish there was a way you can get out of it. Luckily, I got myself out of it before it was too late. Luckily, I started to realize that things don't change unless something changed. So eventually I got out of it. Eventually I started to realize, you know, a lot of things about myself. And yeah, so just really just look at relationships and heartbreaks as a growth experience, as a learning experience, because, you know, it's better to look at it that way instead of so not negative and so, you know, just filled with hatred. You know what I'm saying? So just look at it as a positive thing and look at it as like a growth experience. That's really what I want to get at today. Just look at it as a growth experience, my friend, because you don't want to fall into that pit. You don't want to fall into that pit, and I don't want to see y'all fall into that pit. So this is why I give out these messages. This is why I do what I do, so I can help teach y'all how I started to cope with things and how I started to, you know, better myself and better the situations that I was going through. Try to look at it as a positive thing instead of a negative thing. So yeah, but don't just go out there and try to just get in a relationship. I already said this, but yeah, let it come naturally. Let the heartbreak and let the pain, let it all flow in naturally. Do not try to force a heartbreak on yourself, because that is just very unhealthy. So yeah, just try to make it natural. Try to just let it come to you. And if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. But remember, use it as a learning experience and not a bad experience. Because, yeah, I already said it, but yeah, just use it as a learning experience and a growth experience, and you guys will start to look at relationships different and yourself different and heartbreaks different. And I love every single one of y'all. love every single one of y'all, and I will see y'all on the next video. I love y'all.